Hi everyone. Family Man 2 is now a brand in itself in Indian OTT. I know there are many videos on YouTube in regards to the Family Man 2 review. So this is not about the movie review, but I'm going to talk about the 6 best things from my perspective in Family Man 2. Let's get started. First, the opening. After being stunned by the way first season ended, like every other movie buff, I was so curious on how the series 2 will take off. As we all were waiting to find answers on what happened in the chemicals factory, did Zoya and Millen survive? How damaging was the chemical explosion, etc. And then the trailer came in. There was no clue or hints provided about any of these, so this gave a thought if second franchisee is all about a new theme. And it almost appeared as if the questions from the first series will be left unanswered at this point of time. But as episode 1 slowly started, the incidents are slowly revealed in the form of crisp screenplay. We see it through the aftermath of all the incidents, such as Zoya suffering, Milton's guilt, Srikant's conscience, etc. This itself was a unique way of screenplay. They would have chosen a recap or they could have started from the point where the first season ended. But this is Raj and DK for you. Their writing plays a role here. Eventually, we enter into Srikant's world again, where he tries to lead a common man life with the usual 9 to 5 job and getting banged by a so called corporate young achiever kind of boss. We see Raj and DK satirically showing this role by using regular corporate words such as don't be a minimum guy. Second, fictionizing politics. PM Basu, and the way the vehicle fictionally resembles the lady of West Bengal, Mamta Banerjee, in her determination, attitude, and want to make a point of mindset, etc. And in the serious drama too, we see the writing so witty at parts when the PM aides not being even able to enjoy his daily coffee makes us to split in small laughs. And the way the chemicals factory incident being framed as equipment failure to cover up many other real stories around it. The best part, which I personally like, is during the last episodes of the series, where JK questions Srikant on why are we trying to save the politicians when they are so much corrupt, selfish, stubborn, and adamant in not thinking about the national threat. The answer from Srikant is not just an answer to JK but the society or simply to the audience to tell that their job is not to serve the person who is holding a position but their job is to serve the position which they are possessing. This can be dramatized in more ways with powerful dialogues and punchlines, but it would have definitely disturbed the rhythm of the complete series. So, it was enacted and written in very realistic way, just like a small conversation between two task people. All this gives us a feel that this series is so realistic but not less than any major commercial political thriller. Third, Srikant and Raji. Yes, we do not see Manoj Bajpayee and Samantha in the entire play. We just see a common man working in disguise as a task agent, having a conflict between his conscience and duty, his personal life and professional life. He conveys a lot with his emotions. He can be clever when he is on the field and doing shootouts on the sleeper cells. He can show his silent anger and dissatisfaction when a young achiever boss is banging him. And we also see him bursting at him in the peak moment, which I believe now is one of the trending scenes of the series. We see his performance so realistic when he reacts to the word marriage is sham, where we see he is ignorant to the Gen Z nuances, anger and frustration, while trying to find the meaning of sham, and then we see a similar Srikant when British friend uses a word feminazi. This is all Srikant. On the other side, we see a strong, determined, filled with hurt and anger rebel Raji, Samantha. To say she went beyond nailing a character in this performance. Her performance is far beyond the previous attempts on the silver screen. From my perspective, her career best performance is in Mahanati, but this is far beyond that. Her action sequences and stunts were mind blowing, and we do not see Samantha in any frame. It's all Raji and a rebel filled with vengeance. Though she appears to be opaque all the times, audience can still feel her. This to achieve is far beyond impossible task. The best moments for me are the hunger scene where she shoots JK, and the far best moment is a subtle performance actually cold, wounded, and silently hurt when she knows that Sajid was dead. That was amazing. Fourth, the taking, short division, and action sequences. We see lot of single take episodes throughout the series. 4-minute single take shots, 6-minute single take shots, and 8-minute single take shots. The best ones are the single take sequences at the police station in the middle of the series when the locals attack the team where Raji was captured. And the final climax episode. Man, what can I tell about these single shot episodes? International taking standards, but still in indie way. And we also see lot many jump cuts throughout the film, but still does not disturb the momentum of the real story. I always used to feel in my college days when I was playing games like Counter Strike, the action sequences should be shot in character's POV and with a single shot, as we see in the game's arena. We used to witness that in international cinema, but slowly we started seeing that in the Indian films. And it gives me a feast like feeling while watching such shots as I was grown up with a fascination to witness them on the silver screen. There are many such movies since last couple of years where we are noticing these single take episodes. And the latest one, which I loved, are the shots in this series. Sometimes, if you think and stress more about the technique and ignore the theme or the main plot, the technique is of no use, though shot brilliantly. But in case of Family Man 2, Raj and DK clearly might be aware of the fact that what should be shot in single take and what should be gone into cuts. This is so evident that we see the series as a whole, and we as an audience also feel that this taking is needed at that point of the film. Amazing, isn't it? And one more best thing which I loved is, not sure if everyone noticed this or this might be a reason of my too much admiration of the action sequences in this film. If so, please forgive me. We see Raji fictionally resembling Tamil tigers in one or the other way. One of the main sequence where Srikanth and team captures Raji, they do capture her as if they are capturing a real tiger using rope nets. This stroke may caught metaphorically. I know this might be too much of my imagination, but it's my takeaway from the scene, so you can ignore. The other best thing is how sometimes Raj and DK do not follow the routine of real investigative thrillers. For example, in the scenes where the rebels team have dismantled the chopper and taken a road path, usually to debug this, we usually expect an agent or the main protagonist watching some similar scene in a video, maybe some video of dismantling some big objects and fitting it in small vehicles, playing in the backdrop of Srikanth's office or home, and then cracking this puzzle and eventually guessing it right. But again, Raj and DK handle this through the writing in a more simpler way. Fifth, Chalam. I believe this is a cinematic liberty which Raj and DK have chosen. This is the only place where few of the sections of the audience might not find any logic that wherever there is a problem or a question for Srikanth, how can Chalam solve the puzzle? There is a huge risk that this character would have damaged the reputation that Family Man 1 had. But luckily, this also paid off for Raj and DK just because of its placement and maybe because of using the character more conveniently, though can be considered as escape from the creativity. However, it doesn't matter because now Chalam has become one of the trending characters of the national phenomena. Sixth and the final one, the climax. I'm not sure how many of you all felt when the climax episode have started that Raj and DK are again planning to end the season just like the first franchise, without showing on what's going to happen with the mission of Raji and Srikanth's daughter. Because we just have one episode and there is a lot to happen and show. There was no pre-climax also set in the previous episode. And then we see a spellbinding shot division and crisp screenplay in the last episode, where we see a lot happening and we still do not see as if the plot is hurrying up. This is something I loved the most in the entire series. Not only that, we also see few small hints on how season 3 is partly going to be. This is just my guessing part. It might go wrong as well. Maybe China is going to be the new Sri Lanka and Major from London is now joining hands with China agents. Thriti might be suffering from a mental disorder of the killing that she had to do. And finally, Srikanth knows what happened in Lonavala.